So the first location we have is Fort Paul in Longfort, which is like a sort of a manor house place that looks really sort of posh, and it was quite secluded as well, so there's not been very people around, especially since we were going at night, and it definitely suit the idea of what we were trying to have, especially since it had like lift and all the nice interior. The exterior is good as well. I wanted to use those for some shots.
We used darkroom for some of our shots. That's because it allowed us to be flexible with what we were using. You see those big platforms in the back. We used those to make some of the rooms for where Ben was done for the interrogation scene.
And I also did that for the title sequence as well. And I made the board with all the police investigation stuff on it and did some shots of that. We also used the lights in here as well in order to create that intensity.
The manor house gave us a more gloomy setting that we could use to our advantage since we're doing a horror movie too, and it's like stereotypical to be in that sort of location, so it kind of gave us what we wanted there. It also had lots of rooms inside that we could use for certain shots, like the one where the car was coming in at the very beginning. We took that shot from a higher floor in the house.
The obvious risks from manor house was, well, first of all, we have the danger of the car, because we had to record the car as it was moving in different directions, I think. So we had to make sure we were safe, but also got some good shots of the car actually moving.
This is not so much a risk, more of a disadvantage.
Yeah,
since we were recording at the manor house, we wouldn't be able to do a lot of retakes of shots because it's not close to where either of us live. So it wouldn't be easy access like our previous locations have been. So it would be a lot harder to get more clips if we were to record there again. But unlike the dark room, where we have easy access to it 5 days a week most weeks, and we're always good to reshoot here if we need to.
The risk assessments actually for the dark room itself is during the title sequence. I put it pitch black. The only light source I had, besides from the camera I was using to record it, was the torch I used to pan across it to create that light. And so that always presented a difficulty, especially since there's lots of wires in this room, because there's loads of different sort of lights and everything.
There's also a lot of things on the floor that could pose a tripping hazard to any of us.
I think if there was any danger when we did the interrogation scene, I don't think there would be any real danger. I think maybe the boards weren't really
too stable, so they could have fallen on any of us, but it wouldn't have caused any significant damage.
Yeah, the really sort of light. So that would have been just sort of a disadvantage more than a risk hazard. Probably the biggest risk hazards was when we had that clip of Sean walking up the stairs in blurred motion. I had to lean right over the railing in order to get that, and if I slipped I would have gone all the way down.
Yeah.
So what I did was, after doing that shot once and realising how unsafe it was, I just sort of decided we'll just leave that, and even if the clip looked nice and we wanted to redo it, we just sort of leave that because it would end up being too dangerous.
Filming in the dark was a challenge in itself, because we needed some kind of torch to do it, which we actually brung at the time to eliminate the risk of us not being able to see where we're going. But if we didn't have that, we could have fell over easily, because there was no way else we could see where we were going.
The final two risks that they went on, the first one was the lift. If there was any danger that we could that was quite an old lift, and I think we can tell by the creaking as well. So there was always a risk we could get stuck in that one, because it has happened quite recently when we weren't recording. So it was always a risk.
And the amount of times we used it actually made me dizzy.
But anyway, that's more of a disadvantage than anything. But yeah, it didn't break down when we were using it, so that's good. And the final location is when Sean went through that door. It was also pitch black on the other side when he closed it, so he didn't have his phone or a torch in there at all.
Yeah.
So
that
would have presented. There wasn't. Yeah, we removed any sort of tripping hazard beforehand. So that's how we took a precaution to make sure that risk wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So that was our location recce.